transactions, and you have to pass the journal entries for that. So for April 1999, the first transaction is Mr. James commenced a business with cash, rupees 1 lakh. So he has started his business with cash. Okay, and then he purchased on second, he purchased furniture for rupees 4,000. So he has bought furniture for his business for rupees 4,000. And then on third, he paid into bank rupees 36,000. So paid into bank, deposited into bank, all are meaning same. So rupees 36,000 he has paid into bank. On fourth, if you see, he has purchased goods. So bought goods or purchased goods, both are meaning same. So bought goods rupees 17,000. On fifth, if you see, bought goods from Kamakshi Mills rupees 18,000. And on sixth, bought goods from Kasi Mills rupees 12,000. So when you come across the goods terminology, you have to see bought goods means purchased goods. Then you have to use only purchases account. Okay, and similarly, when you are selling goods also, you should use only sales account, not goods account. Okay, so goods terminology, if you come across itself, bought means you should use purchases account, and sales means sales account. Sold goods means sales account you have to use. And one more thing, either it is if it is purchase means it is cash purchase or credit purchase, you should be clarity with that. So either nothing is given about the purchase, then it is considered as a cash purchase. Whereas a name is given in that question, then it is considered as a credit purchase. And similarly, name along with that cash has been given to you, so then it is again considered as a cash purchase only. So if you see the fourth transaction, it is cash purchase. Since nothing is mentioned here, it is considered as a cash purchase. Whereas in this transaction, if you see bought goods from Kamakshi Mills, here the name has been given. Okay, so this is to be considered as a credit purchase, because if they have given for cash, if they have included here, then it will be considered as a cash purchase. But only if name is given to you, you have to consider it as a credit purchase. And moving to the next transaction on 6, the bought goods from Kasi Mills. Again, since it is goods, given here goods, you have to consider it as a purchase. Purchases account only you have to use. Okay, and then name has been given. So it is to be considered as a credit purchase. Okay, if they have included for cash, bought goods from Kasi Mills for cash, if they have included means, then you have to consider it as a cash purchase. So look it over. Look it over in that. Okay, so just take care of that, whether you have to consider it as a cash purchase or credit purchase. You should be clarity with that. And moving to the seventh date transaction, sold to Mrs. Priya Mills. Okay, so here sold goods or sold to, if they are using this kind of terms in your accounting transactions, then it should be considered as sales. They have sold goods or sold to means it should be considered as sales. Okay, if they are giving any kind of asset, specifically furniture, plant and machinery, or land and building, any kind of assets has been given, then that time only you should use that particular asset name, or else you should use only purchaser sales account, purchase account, you should use only that one. So sold to Mrs. Priya Mills means it is a credit purchase, since name has been given here, and regarding cash anything they have not included, so you have to consider it as a credit sales for rupees 18,000, and sold to Malan rupees 8,000. So this is also again it is a credit purchase, because for cash nothing they have included here. So it should be considered as a credit sales only. And next now ninth transaction, if you see, it is paid for advertisements. So it is considered as advertisement. So it is an expense for the business. So you have made payment for advertisement. So it is actually, it comes under the nominal account. Okay, whatever the expenses you are meeting out, like salary, rent, carriage, and advertisement, all those things are considered as the expense, and it will come under the nominal account. So paid for advertisement rupees 2500. So it comes under the nominal account. So whenever you make transactions, you have to check it over whether it will appear under the personal account or real account or nominal account. You have to take care of that. Okay, so you have to take care of that whether it will come under the personal or real or nominal account. Then on 10th, if you see, bought stationery. Okay, so bought stationery for rupees 500. So whenever a specific term has been used, then you have to use that term only. Okay, so bought stationery or bought furniture, that term or that particular asset or that particular item only you have to consider. You should not consider the bought. Okay, so bought goods means, so you have to use purchases account. Whenever they have given you the concerned item name, bought postage or bought stationery, like that, if they use, you have to use the particular terminology there. So whenever stationery has been given or postage has been given, then uh, then you have to use that concerned one. Okay, so bought stationery for rupees 500. And next, if you see paid Kasi Mills by check. Okay, so paid Kasi Mills by check they have given. So in that case, you are paying him. Kasi Mills, you are paying him. And through check you are paying. Okay. And rupees 11,800 you are paying, and discount received is rupees 200. So whenever like this kind of transactions is given to you, you have to go through before that where and all Kasi Mills has appeared. So what kind of transaction you made with him, what you have bought from him, or what you have sold to him, that you have to consider. And now how much amount you have to pay and how much you actually are paying now. So that you have to consider, how much discount, all those things. Sometimes discount will be given to you, sometimes it will not be given. In that case, you have to calculate whatever the transactions previously, right from the beginning. You have to go through the entire transactions and find out how much amount actually you have to pay him now, how much you are paying him. All those things you have to consider and find out the discount allowed or discount received. So when discount allowed will be coming, when discount received will be coming, you will be knowing that very well. Okay, so whenever you make a credit purchase, if it is for cash purchase, then no other problem. Net cash you will be paying on that particular day itself to that supplier. Okay, but whereas when you make credit purchase, you will be given a discount. If you are making prompt payment, no, that time you will be getting a discount received. So whenever you make credit purchase, you will receive discount. Whenever you make credit sales, you will be allowing discount to the customer, since he has paid properly all your payments. He has met all your whatever the dues is there, everything since he has paid, so you will be allowing him the discount. So whenever you come across like these kinds of transactions, you have to go through on which date you had transaction with him, how much you have to pay, how much you are paying now. All those things you have to consider, and accordingly you have to calculate and post the entries accordingly. And moving to the 12th date transaction, cash sales rupees 4,000. So here the sales particularly given, it is for cash. So it is very easy for you. Sales they have given, they have sold some goods for cash. So that is given here. Cash sales rupees 4,000 they have mentioned here. And moving to the Next transaction, received from Molan in full settlement of his account. So received from Molan full settlement of his account means before this Molan with Molan what all the transactions was there, you have to just look it over. Okay, so you have to just find out what are the transactions previously, whether you have made a sale to him or either you have made a you have purchased from him. So all those things you have to just just think it over, and accordingly you have to post the transactions. Okay, so if you see here, I have received from Malan. So generally, when you will receive, you might think logically here. So whenever you are receiving something from a person, receiving cash from some person means you would have sold him something previously. Then only you will be receiving cash now. Okay. Similarly, if you are paying somebody means already you have bought some goods on credit from him. Now you are paying. So it is logically you have to think that received from Malan means I have sold him earlier. Okay, if you see the transaction, if you go through the transaction, you can see. See on 8th sold to Malan rupees 8,000. So since you have sold for 8,000 on 8th, okay, so it is for a credit sales here. So you are receiving from him. So you are receiving from him rupees 7,850 now. Okay, 7,850 you are receiving from him now. Okay, so balance how much amount is there, and that is discount allowed or discount receipt, that you have to think over. Since you have made a sales, credit sales, then you are going to allow him a discount. It is discount allowed. So you have to find out the amount. 8,000 in that 7,850 is paying means balance 150 is your discount allowed. Okay, and again one more thing, you have to go through whether he has given any goods return back to us. All those things also you have to consider in between. So what I am saying is that whenever a particular person's full settlement of his account like that, or if you have received from that person in full settlement or paid to that person in full settlement means you have to go through the previous day transactions right from the beginning. What all the transactions I had with him, so that we have to consider right from purchases what we made, purchases returns anything is there, like that sales is sales if I made sales returns anything is there, and finally how much I am paying, and finally how much I am receiving from him. From that only we can calculate the discount received or discount allowed. So just think it over, and accordingly you have to post the entry and find out the amount also. You have to debit and credit that columns. And next, if you see withdraw cash for personal use, whenever you come across the term called personal use, it is considered as the drawings. Okay, so personal use terminology, if you come across itself, it is the drawings. Okay, so drawings you have to debit actually. And if you see the next day transaction, paid rent by check. Okay, so whenever rent, commission, salary, if you come across all these kinds of terms, then it will appear under the nominal account. It will come under the nominal account. Either you are paying or receiving. Accordingly, you have to debit and credit. Paying means you will be debiting that particular concerned account. Receiving means you will be crediting that concerned account. Now, rent account should be debited, and here commission account to be debited, and salaries account to be debited. Why we are debiting? Since rent, commission, salaries, everything comes under the nominal account. And what is the nominal account rule? Debit all expenses and losses, credit all incomes and gains. So you have to debit the rent account, commission account, salaries account, everything on particular individual date only. You have to pass the entries because it has taken place on separate dates. Okay, so then you have to pass accordingly. For each date, you have to pass the entries like that. And if you see one more thing, paid rent by check they have given here. So whenever if you come across the check term, you have to credit the bank account. That too, if you are going to pay through check means you have to credit the bank account. So usually whenever if I am running a factory or a company, if I am going to pay salary to my employee, then salary account I have to debit and a cash account I have to credit. Why cash account I have to credit? Because salary is cash is going out of my business there. So cash what goes out, real account rule is cash what goes out here. Okay, so I will be crediting the cash account. But here they have given us paid rent by check. So you have to credit the bank account instead of cash. Okay, so bank is going to pay him, pay the rent. So you have to credit the bank account here instead of cash account. But usually what if they give you paid rent means it is you have paid the rent through cash only. Okay, but whenever check term if you come across in your transaction, then you have to credit the bank account. Okay, instead of cash account you have to credit the bank account. So this is our question. For each date you have to pass the journal entries, you have to write the heading, and then as per the format you have to for each day transaction you have to pass the entry. You have to give a brief explanation called narration about that entry, and you have to give the amount in the debit and credit column. So these are the transactions. So from these transactions only we will be passing the journal entry. Later on we'll be posting into ledger, and trial balance everything will take place only after recording properly your all your entries, journal entries. So with utmost care, if you record all these journal entries, then your ledger, everything will go smoothly. Okay, so there will not be any issues. But normally in your question paper, you will be getting either a journal entry or they will give you transactions, and you can also stately post them into ledger. It's not that you have to pass the journal entry and then only you have to post the entries in the ledger. It's not like that. Even straight away also you can go to the ledger. So based upon the question only we will be carrying out how we are going to work out. So if they have given only journal entries means we will be stopping with journal entries. If they are mentioning past journal entries and post them into ledger means you have to pass journal entries, then we will be preparing the ledger accounts. Or else if straight away if they give post entries in ledger means straight away will be posting in ledger. So that through practice you will be easily getting. So in mind we have to think whether a particular transaction, if it is given to you, straight away you have to think it over in your mind what would be the journal entry for this, so that you can easily prepare a separate account for each item, and you can post the entries accordingly. So through practice you will be easily getting it over. So whenever first thing what you must know, you have to know whether a particular item comes under personal account or real account or nominal account, which type of account it comes under. That you must know first of all. And then you must know why we are debiting, why we are crediting. So what is the rule for that? Okay, so if you are thorough with that, you can easily get through, you can easily pass all the journal entries. Okay, so logically, if you think it over, you can easily pass the journal entries. So we can move to the problem now, how to work out that problem. Okay, so if you see, this is the format actually. Journal entries in the books of that person's name you have to mention for the month of April 1999. So that you have to mention. Okay, so whenever question is given to you, journal entries in the books of that concerned person's name has to be utilized, and for which month you are preparing you have to mention that. So heading is compulsory. It's a must for accounting problems. And then format is also a must. So you have to mention date, particulars, LF, that is ledger folio, and then amount column with the debit and credit column. So that is the uh, accounting format. Okay, for the journal, so this will be the accounting format. Date, particulars, LF means ledger folio, because from here only you are going to post it into your ledger accounts. So you will be having a LF column which will usually be left blank here. So next will be your amount column, which has got debit and credit columns. So here only you will be writing over all your amount rupees in rupees. So you will be given. So normally if you follow a accounts note, you will be having all these columns. If you just fill it up with that particular thing, then it is fine. Okay, so let us move to each and every transaction, and how the under which type of account it usually appears, and what would be the entry for that. You just take care of that. Okay, so before moving to the problems, just I will give a brief note about which item will appear under which account. Let me tell out that. So if you see uh, regarding the cash, if you see, it will come under the real account only. Okay, so it will come always under real account. Either you will be debiting the real account, cash account, either you will be debiting or you will be crediting. So you cannot tell that it will be debited or it will be credited. Based upon the transactions, either you have to debit or credit. When you will be debiting means whenever if you are going to receive the cash, then you will be debiting the cash account. Okay, cash account debtor, you will be using that. So when cash is coming into the business, so probably when you make sales, okay, when you make sales, cash will be coming into the business. And then similarly, whenever you receive commission or receive interest, cash will come into the business. So at that time you will be debiting the cash account. And when you will be crediting the cash account, so cash account normally when it will be credited, so whenever you make payments, when you pay salary, when you pay interest, when you pay cash to the bank. Okay, so whenever you deposit your cash into the bank account, cash is going out of the business. So you will be crediting the cash account. Okay, so it depends upon the transactions on the question. It accordingly, either you have to debit and credit. I cannot tell you that it will be debited or credited. It based upon the transaction only. You have to accordingly debit or credit. So that you have to take care of. And moving to the next, whatever assets given to you. So it can be a plant and machinery, or it can be a furniture or land and building, whatever kinds of assets given to you, it will also come under the real account. It will also appear under the real account. This also again I cannot say either it will come under the debit or credit. Okay, so it depends upon again. So sometimes I might purchase plant and machinery, I might purchase furniture and land and building. At that time I will be debiting, because debit what comes in, right? So I will be debiting whenever I am making purchase. Whenever I'm selling that same asset, I will be crediting. Why I'm crediting? Because it goes out of my business. So I will be crediting. So this asset terminology I have given, it is inclusive of all your plant and machinery, furniture, land and building, and any other kinds of assets. Okay, so that I am purchasing for my business. If it is coming in, I will be debiting. If it is going out, I'll be crediting. So that you have to keep it in mind. And then regarding purchases. Okay, so regarding purchases again, it will come under the real account only. So when I will be using the purchases terminology, whenever I have bought goods, okay, I have purchased goods. For goods, I will be using the purchase terminology. Or if it is a asset, purchased furniture means furniture only I will be using, furniture account only I will be using. But goods if I purchase means, or a bought goods if they have given you, then you have to use purchases only, purchases account only you have to use. And if you see, it will always be debited because goods is coming into your business. So debit what comes in real account rule. So debit, I will be debiting that. So purchases account always it is debit, purchases account debtor. And then sales. Okay, sales, if you see, it comes under the real account again. So what is the why it is real account? Because goods. Okay, so all kind of goods or assets, it will always come under the real account only. And again, this sales account I will credit. Okay, so sales credit. Okay, so why sales credit? Because real account rule, credit is what? Credit what goes out. So I am crediting because goods is going out of my business. So I am crediting. Okay, so sales means credit. So you can remember purchases written based upon the purchases. Okay, so purchases returns, how I can remember. So purchases returns, how I can remember means purchases if I am debit, purchases returns I will credit. Okay, so it will also appear real account only, and purchases returns you will credit. So purchases நம்ம debit பண்ணோம் அப்படின்னா purchases returns நம்ம credit பண்ணணும் அப்படின்றத ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கோங்க. அதே மாதிரி சேல்ஸ நீங்க credit பண்ணீங்க அப்படின்னா சேல்ஸ் ரிட்டர்னை வந்துட்டு நம்ம we have to probably debate. So you have to remember this one. Okay, if you easily remember all these things, whatever I'm giving it over here, so you can easily remember this one. Okay, debit which one, credit. Accordingly, transactions if they give, you can easily pause all the journal entries if you remember the rule. And when we have to debit, when we have to credit, if you just make a note of it, all these things, you can easily find out all the journal entries easily. By looking itself, you can easily tell what are the journal entries for that particular transaction. Okay, so like this. And in case of rent or salaries or wages, okay, interest, commission, okay, commission, and then discount allowed or discount allowed or discount. Say if this kinds of items, if they give the all the big list I have given here, if all these items are given to you, then nominal account. Okay, it will all appear under the nominal account only. It comes under the nominal account and you have to debit that particular thing. Okay, so rent account data, salaries account data, wages account data, everything you have to debit only. Everything will come under the nominal account. Nominal account rule is what? Debit all expenses and losses. So you have to debit the nominal account. Okay, so that particular concern, whatever they have given, you have to debit that. Okay, so discount allowed, commission you have paid, or interest you have paid to bank or some person. So everything you have to debit only. If it is considered as an expense, then you have to debit. Similarly, if you are going to receive, a commission received. Okay, discount received. And then something other than that, interest received interest, they will give you like that, received a commission like that. In that case, again, it will come under nominal account only, but you have to credit that because it appears under the nominal account and credit what? All the incomes and gains. So you are going to receive here, then you have to credit the commission received, discount received, interest received, everything to commission received account, to discount received account, to interest received account, or to interest account, to commission account, like that also you can write over very well. Okay, so it appears under the nominal account. Okay, so if you are making payments means it will come under the nominal account, you have to debit that. If you are receiving something, it will again come under the nominal account, but you will be crediting that. So you have to keep this in mind. So whenever you are making payment, no, then the debit is concerned, that one rent account debit, that I can use. But to which account I have to credit means cash. Okay, so paid rent means rent account I will debit, but to which account I have to credit means to cash account only I have to credit. Unless otherwise check if they have mentioned only bank account you will be using, or else you will be using to cash account. Paid salaries kudupanga. So then what you have to do, salaries account debit and podano to cash account. Okay, so ஏன் cash account, because cash போகுது இல்ல நம்ம வந்துட்டு pay பண்ணும்போது, so that we have to use to cash account. ஓகே, ஸோ அதனால கொஸ்டின் பேசிஸா வச்சு, டிரான்சாக்ஷன் பேஸா வச்சு தான் நம்ம வந்துட்டு எப்படி என்ட்ரிஸ் போஸ்ட் பண்றது, என்ன டைப் ஆஃப் அக்கௌண்ட் கீழே வரும், and which account has to be debited, which account has to be credited, that you have to think it over. Okay, so hope till this everyone will be clear about what are the rules and how we are generally making out all these things. Hope you would have understood. I think so. We can move on to the problem. Is it clear to all? Is it clear whatever till I spoke now? How you can easily remember? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So
Yes,
let me
ma'am.
move to. Okay, ma. Thank you. So let me move to the problem now. Okay. So that is the actual thing which we want to move. On 1st April 1999, Mr. James commenced a business with cash rupees 1 lakh. So this is our transaction. Now we have to pass the journal entry for that. Okay. So date column, we have to mention the date. And then in particulars column, what we have to do, we should make the entry and we should give the narration. And then if you see LF column, usually it is left blank, and debit column we have to fill, credit column we have to fill. So whatever debit column you are giving the amount, same amount should be given in the credit column also. So it should get tallied. Here one amount, we should not give like that. So you should take care of that. And next, if you say on 1st April means the date has to be mentioned in the date column compulsorily if they give any particular date, and you have to make the entry. So here being commenced business with cash, that is the transaction. Sometimes started business with cash, sometimes commenced business with cash, whatever might be they will be giving. So you have to make the entry for that. Sometimes only cash will be brought into the business. At times they will be giving some assets also brought into the business. So whatever might be, how the transaction should be, cash account debtor to capital account. Why cash account is debited? Cash account, it comes under the real account. So first you have to think it over in your mind, which type of account it appears, personal, real or nominal. That you have to think. So cash account, it comes under which account? Real account. It comes under the real account. And what is the real account rule then? Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So cash is coming into my business. Everything from the point of view of company only, you have to make, you have to maintain your books of accounts. So cash is coming into the business means cash account I have to debit. Debit what comes in. So a cash account is debited to capital account. I'm writing over here. So why capital account? Capital account is capital is always considered as a liability, which that a business has to give in back. So generally, if you see liabilities means you will be crediting, asset means you will be debiting. You can also make note of here. If any asset is there, any assets, particularly assets, if you are purchasing means you will be debiting only. If you have some assets in your hand, you will be debiting that. Any kind of liabilities means you will be always crediting that. Okay, so that you have to remember. Okay, so any kinds of assets, if you are having in your hand, if you are purchasing something means you have to debit only. And liability similarly, it will be always credited only. So this also you have it in your mind. So capital is, since it is considered as a liability that business has to give him back. So I am going to credit the capital account. I am going to credit the capital account being commenced business with cash. So next, if you see, this is our first day transaction entry. And second day, if you see, purchased furniture for rupees 4,000. Whenever an item is given to you, just use that item. Okay, whenever goods is given, or generally when only purchased term is given to you, consider it as purchases. But whenever an asset is given to you, then use that asset name only. Okay, so purchased furniture for rupees 4,000. How to make entry for this? So you have to mention the date column to 4/1999, and I have made the entry like furniture account data to cash account. Why furniture account has been debited here? Whenever if you purchase any asset, that asset is coming to your business. So furniture purchase panna, furniture is coming into my business. So furniture it comes under which type of account? All the assets will come under the real account. And when I will debit that, whenever it comes into my business, debit what comes in. So furniture is coming to my business. So adanala furniture account நான் debit பண்றேன். So next வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா to cash account I'm using. Why to cash account? Because I've purchased furniture. Furniture is coming into my business. But what is going out of my business? Cash is going out of my business. So adanala we are crediting the cash account to cash account. So furniture account data to cash account. So rupees 4,000, whatever given in the question, that amount you have to mention rupees 4,000 equally in debit and credit column. So there should not be any doubt with that. Okay, and you have to give a narration being furniture purchased or being purchased furniture, whatever accordingly you can give in simple sentences about that particular transaction. That is known as narration. Okay, so here they have not given any person's name and all here, so it is always considered as a cash. For cash only they have got the furniture. It is an assumption. Okay, only if a person's name is given means you should not use here cash account. Okay, instead of that, that person's name has to be utilized here. Okay, I think it will be clear to you. So whenever a person's name is given, no, then it is considered as a credit purchase only. Credit furniture they have got in artham. So but that time you cannot credit the cash account. Cash is not going out. Instead of that, that person's name from whom I have got, no, that person's name only I'll be crediting. Okay, so that here nothing, if nothing is given about a transaction, person's name kadiyadu அப்படினா cash, on cash only they have got ன்னு அர்த்தம். Okay, so that you have to keep it in mind. So purchased furniture for rupees 4,000 over. Next, moving on to the third day transaction, paid into bank rupees 36,000. So paid into bank, cash deposited into bank, illa deposited into bank, whatever, all are same meaning only. And how to make entry for this? Okay, so you have to write that particular date on 3rd or something, whatever date is given to you, that you have to write. So April 3rd, 1999, you have to mention that. And how to make entry, bank account data to cash account. So why bank account I'm debiting? Since bank is a receiver. So any person's name or artificial persons like bank if you come across, or firm name if you come across, then it will come at the this one, personal account only. Okay, so personal account rule in a just you have to think over. Debit the receiver, credit the giver. So that you have to think over. So then what you have to do, either you have to debit or credit accordingly. If I am depositing my cash into bank means bank will be the receiver. Okay, then debit the receiver. So because of that only bank account I have debited. Okay, so if I am withdrawing from him, from bank I am withdrawing means bank will be the giver. If I am depositing means he is the receiver. Logically we have to think over. So bank is the receiver. So that's what I have debited bank account data. Okay, to cash account. So why cash? Cash is going now from my business. So cash account will come under which type of account? Real account it actually comes under. Okay, so cash will come under real account. Either you will be debiting or you will be crediting. When you will be debiting, only if you receive cash you will be debiting. When you will be crediting, when cash is going out of your business, whenever you make payment, whenever you pay pay somebody, you will be crediting that. Now you are going to give the cash to the bank means cash is going out of the business. Cash it comes under the real account. since it's going out, credit what goes out. So crediting the cash account. Being cash paid into bank or cash deposited into bank, whatever you can write over, and write out the amount in debit and credit column with equal amount 36,000. Okay. So next, moving on to the next day transaction, that is on 4th, bought goods rupees 17,000. So I am going to purchase some goods or bought some goods, whatever, both are meaning same only. So if they don't mention anything, whether it is a cash purchase or credit purchase, how to consider? If they don't give anything about that transaction, if transaction is silent about that, then you have to confirm that it is a cash purchase only. So bought or bought nalum purchased nalum same meaning. So bought goods, we have to use only purchases account. Okay, so goods account la use panakudadu. Purchases account only we have to use. So bought goods ka how to make entry for that? You have to mention the date in the date column, April 4, 1999. So I have made the entry purchases account data to cash account. And narration also you have to give at the end. Okay, so being purchased illana bought goods something, bought goods for cash, like this you can just mention. Okay, so how to make this entry? So but always what I told, purchases account means you have to debit only, that you should not have any doubt, because goods is coming into the business, goods, assets, everything comes under the real account only. Okay, so real account rule is what? Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Now goods is coming into my business, so I have to debit. So purchase account means you have to debit. Okay, so goods and mention பண்ணியிருந்தாலே purchases account தான் யூஸ் பண்ணும், sales account தான் யூஸ் பண்ணும். Concerned asset கொடுத்திருந்தாங்கன்னா தான் you have to use the asset account. So purchases account debit பண்ணணும். So why we are debiting the purchase account? Because goods is coming into my business, debit what comes in, purchase account means default you have to debit only. Okay, and then to cash account, if nothing is mentioned, person's name is mentioned na, you have to credit that person's name account. Okay, but if nothing is mentioned means it is an assumption that it is a cash purchase they have made, so you have to credit the cash account. So you have to credit cash account, unless otherwise person's name is given, person's name account you have to credit, or else cash account only you have to credit. So that you have to make the entry like this, purchases account data to cash account. Being bought goods for cash or purchase goods for cash, whatever amount given in the question, just make a note of it. 17,000 rupees they have given. So in debit column, 17,000. Same way in credit column also, same 17,000 you have to give it out. And moving to the next transaction, let us look upon what transaction it is. So on 5th, bought goods from Kamakshi Mills rupees 18,000. So they have again purchased goods. That goods have been purchased from a particular mills, Kamakshi Mills. Then it is considered as a credit purchase, because for cash anything they have not mentioned over here. If suppose for cash if they have mentioned, then it is considered as cash purchase. But here they have not given any cash or something, nothing they have given, only person's name is given here. So you have to consider it as a credit purchase. So what would be the entry? You have to mention the date. I think so it's 5th or 6th, that you have to think it over. So just it is 5th. So mention that date. Okay, coming to the entry. So they have bought goods from Kamakshi Mills. So goods nale vandu you have to use the purchases. You have to use the purchases account. Purchases account you have to use purchase account debtor. Okay, so goods na purchase account you have to use. Idhe vandu furniture, if they have purchased furniture, if they have purchased land and building from that particular Kamakshi Mills na, that concerned asset has to be utilized over here. Okay, or else goods means purchases account you have to debit. Okay, so already we know purchase account we have to debit. 2, if it is for cash means cash account last transaction cash account we have credited. That same cash account you have to credit here also. But they have given that persons that Kamakshi Mills they have given that okay. So it is considered as a credit purchase. So Kamakshi Mills you have to credit now. Kamakshi Mills has to be credited. Okay, Kamakshi Mills account. So you have to credit the Kamakshi Mills account. If it is for cash means cash account. Nothing is given also cash account the credit panano. So person's name kudutanga person's or that mills or company's name that you have to credit. Okay, or else for cash na adile சேர்த்து mention பண்ணிருந்தாங்க Kamakshi Mills for cash na you have to credit the cash account only. But why you are crediting this? Since it comes under the personal account. Any firm, any individual person or bank will be coming under the personal account only. Personal account rule, what is the rule? Debit the receiver, credit the giver. So debit the receiver, credit the giver. Now Kamakshi Mills is giving to us. He is the giver here. So adanala we are crediting the Kamakshi Mills account. Okay. So you have to write a narration for this being goods purchased from Kamakshi Mills, like that you have to give a narration and amount accordingly. Whatever amount given to you, bought goods from Kamakshi Mills 18,000. So just mention that 18,000 in debit and credit column. Okay. Any doubts you have so far in understanding this? Entry, all these entries so far, whatever we discussed now. Any doubts you have?
No doubts, ma'am.
No doubts. Is it clear to all whatever I'm speaking?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma. Okay. You can also try up. Okay. So you can also tell me the entries. Okay. So next, if you see on 6th, bought goods from Kasi Mills rupees 12,000. Okay. So they have again bought goods from Kasi Mills. So same kind of transaction, only whatever given in 5th, no, that same thing only 6th also. But instead of that, Kamakshi Mills, Kasi Mills they have used. That's it. Okay. Same thing. Goods they have purchased. So you have to use only purchases account here. Okay. Purchases account nale we have to debit. Purchases account debit. And then from whom they have purchased, if you see Kasi Mills they have purchased. Okay. So Kasi Mills you have to credit since he is the giver. He is giving to us. So another giver. So Kasi Mills we have to credit. So bought goods from Kasi Mills rupees 12,000 on 6th. So let us make an entry for that. So on 6th, if you see, they have bought goods from Kasi Mills. So are they last transaction, whatever given, no, that same transaction you can write same thing only again appears. So purchases, they have purchased the goods. So purchases account we have to debit. So default no, that purchases account means it will be debited only. Okay, because goods is coming into the business. So purchase account we have to debit. And to what account we have to credit? If it is for cash means cash account credit panano. But if a person's name is given or a company name is given, that account only you have to credit. Kasi Mills account. Okay. Cash means cash account credit pananga. If it is not given cash and person's name or company's name is given, that account you have to credit. or else இதுலயே cash for cash ன்னு கொடுத்திருந்தாலும் cash account தான் நம்ம credit பண்ணணும். So that you have to keep it in mind. And you have to same whatever transaction you have posted here, past journal entry here, no, same entry only you are going to pass. Instead of Kamakshi Mills, Kasi Mills we are using. Okay, if suppose same date le occur ஆயிருந்ததுன்னா what we have to do, no, you have to include Kasi Mills club பண்ணி கூட வந்துட்டு நம்ம entry வந்து pass பண்ணலாம். ஓகேவா? ஸோ கிளப் பண்ணி கூட சம்டைம்ஸ் ஒரே சேம் டேட்ல வந்துட்டு சேம் ஏதாவது ஒரு திங் வந்து அதே டெபிட் பண்ண போறோம்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன். தென் வந்துட்டு we can club even two accounts. டூ அந்த என்ட்ரிஸையும் சேர்த்து ஒரே என்ட்ரியா வந்துட்டு கம்பைண்டா வந்து we can pass the journal entry also. ஒரே டேட்ல அக்கர் ஆயிட்டு same thing purchases has been made, no, then here instead of posting separately this Kasi Mills, no, you can even here you can write it over to Kasi Mills account. If suppose particular same date ல அக்கர் ஆயிருந்து டெபிட்டோ இல்ல கிரெடிட்டோ சேம் அக்கௌண்ட்டுக்கு நம்ம பண்ண போறோம் அப்படின்னா then we can include we can club the both the entries together. We can pass combined journal entry for that. Okay, so that can also be done. Okay, so fifth date le வந்து purchases account தான் நம்ம டெபிட் பண்ண போறோம். From Kamakshi Mills you have purchased for 18,000 and from Kasi Mills also you have purchased for rupees whatever given here 12,000. Same thing occurs in same date and same account தான் நம்ம டெபிட் பண்ண போறோம் அப்படின்னா instead of writing separately you can also club together. Like that also you can do sometimes. Okay, so 12,000 and here also same 12,000 can be given. Okay, so you have to write a narration for this being goods bought or purchased from Kasi Mills. So you can mention like this. Okay, being goods bought from Kasi Mills. Okay, so this is our 6th day transaction. Now moving on to the next transaction. So what is the next transaction? On 7th, if you see, sold to Mrs. Priya Mills, rupees 18,000. So here you have sold to illa sold goods to, both are meaning same only. Sold to Mrs. Priya Mills. So I have made a credit sales. So sales there are two types. One is cash sales, other one is the credit sales. So cash sales means generally if the question is silent, transaction is silent about, so then it is cash sales. When the question is mentioned a particular person name, then it is credit sales. Person's name along with cash, if they are mentioned, then again it is cash sales only. So that you have to keep it in our mind. Sold to Mrs. Priya Mills, rupees 18,000. So sold goods illa sold to nalum sales account da we have to use. Unless otherwise asset has been given to you, sold furniture, sold old furniture, illa sold plant and machinery அப்படின்னா தான் we have to use that concerned asset name. But sold goods to, like that if they use, then sales only you should mention. So that you have to keep it in our mind. So how to make pass entries for this? Sold to Mrs. Priya Mills, rupees 18,000. So that date you have to just look it over. It is on 7th. So on 7th we have to mention 7/04 April 1999. So sold goods sold to Mrs. Priya Mills means now generally if I make for say for if it is for cash means what I will do, no, cash account debtor to sales account I will be giving. Okay, so this will be my usual entry if I am selling goods on cash basis. Okay, this will be my usual entry because cash is coming into my business. அதனால cash வந்து நான் debit பண்றேன். Cash is debit what comes in rule. Okay, so அதனால I will be debiting. Okay, and to sales account I will be mentioning why sales account means goods is going out of my business. அதனால to sales account I am giving it over here. Here if it is for cash sales, if I am selling goods, if the question is silent about sold goods, that's it, rupees 18,000 or something, then my entry will be like this. Here, sold goods to Mrs. Priya Mills. They have given like that. So here cash account debit பண்றதுக்கு பதிலா we have to mention that person's name or that firm's name. Okay, but to sales account it will remain as usual. To sales account in that you need not have any doubt. To sales account it is confirmed because goods is going out of my business. So I have to credit the sales account only. Okay, sales account default வந்துட்டு you can remember that sales account already I have given here. See, you have to credit only. Sales account means you have to credit. That no doubt should be there in that. So default வந்து sales account na credit பண்ணிடலாம். Okay, then what account I have to debit now? So if it is for cash sales means cash account I will debit. But here it is credit. They have not given as cash here. Okay, they have given only person's name. Then it is credit sales. So that particular person the firm's name only we have to give Mrs. Priya Mills account. So this only we have to debit instead of cash. If it is for cash sales, cash account debit. If it is the person's name is mentioned over there in your transaction, then our firm's name is mentioned in your transaction, then that firm's name or person's name you have to use. Okay, so because he is the receiver, Priya Mills, Priya, whatever it is the personal account. Personal account rule, what is the rule for the personal account? Debit the receiver, credit the giver. Here, who is receiving when I sell the goods to that person, to that firm? That Priya Mills only receiving that goods. Okay, so he is the she is the receiver or that person is the receiver, firm is the receiver here. So I have to debit their account only instead of cash account. If it is for cash account I will debit. If it is for credit sales, then that credit sales, that person's or firm's name I have to debit that thing. And sales account as usual normally இதுக்கு credit பண்ற மாதிரி இதுக்கும் தான் credit பண்ணுவோம். Cashல sale பண்ணாலும் இல்ல வந்துட்டு creditல sales பண்ணாலும் same account only I will be crediting because goods is going out. So salesனாலே வந்து credit ன்னு ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கணும். So next you have to write the narration part of that. Being sold goods to Mrs. Priya Mills. Just mention in a simple language, and you can write over the amount 17,000 or whatever 18,000 that amount. So 18,000 you just fill it up here in debit column and in the credit column with the equal same amount. Okay, so this is our 7th day transaction. Okay, and moving to the 8th day transaction. Okay, sold to Marlon rupees 8,000. So again sold to da kuduthirukanga. What they have sold, furniture, machinery, nothing they have given. So again sold nale sales, goods sold பண்ணிருக்காங்க தான் அர்த்தம். So what you have to do, you have to credit the sales account again. Okay, so sales means you have to credit only because goods is going out of your business. Credit what goes out, sales account you have to credit, and what you have to debit, Marlon account தான் debit பண்ணணும். Why we are going to debit the Marlon account? Because he is the receiver. Whenever you make sale, that person will be the receiver. Whenever you make purchase, that person will be the giver to you. Okay, so based upon the transaction only you can make entry. So sold to Marlon means Marlon account போன transaction அதே தான் it is repeated here. Mrs. Priya Mills here வந்து it's Marlon here. Okay, Marlon account you have to debit to sales account. Why Marlon account debited? Because he is the receiver. Whenever I sell the goods, he will be the receiver. Whenever I sell the goods. Okay, so debit account, debit the receiver, personal account rule, individual person, personal account rule, debit the receiver. So Marlon account is the receiver. If it is for cash means cash account debit. If it is person's name given, then that person name I have to debit. Okay, to sales account. So goods is going out of my business. So always sales account pathina you have to credit. Sales account you have to credit. So that you have to have it in your mind. Purchase account debit na sales account credit. Okay. So Malan account debtor debit to sales account being goods sold sold goods, whatever, if you want you can write it over sold goods on credit to Malan illa to Malan account also you can just give it over. Being sold goods to Malan. That amount whatever given in the question. So Malan 8,000 rupees they have sold on 8th. So that 8,000 you can just give it over here. 8,000. Okay. And narration also given. So this will be our 8th day transaction entry. And moving to the next one. So 9th, if you see, paid for advertisement rupees 1,500. So advertisements for it is considered as an expenditure. Advertisements it will come under the nominal. Advertisement will come under the nominal account. Okay, all kinds of expenditures, whatever you make payment, advertisement, postage, stationery, stamps, carriage. Okay, carriage means goods one from one point to other point they are transporting, no, from their factory to the customer's point. Like that, any kind of expenditure that they have to make payment. Okay, so all these will come under the nominal account only. And nominal account rule is debit all expenses and losses, credit all incomes and gains. Expenses nale that concerned item whatever given, no, that one you have to debit. So advertisement account debit panano. Okay. And what is going out of my business when I pay advertisement, then cash is going out of my business. So cash account I have to credit. Cash is going out. Credit what goes out. Real account rule. Cash is going out. So cash account I have to credit. Unless otherwise through check by check and கொடுத்தாங்கன்னா தான் bank account credit பண்ணணும். இல்லனா to cash account only you have to credit. So paid for advertisement rupees 1,500. So you make a note of it. What is the date actually? On 9th it is 9th paid for advertisement. So advertisement account debtor to cash account. Okay, advertisement account debtor to cash account 1,500. 1,500. So what is the why advertisement account has been debited? Since all the expenses will appear under the nominal account. All the expenses and losses, all the incomes and gains. That is our nominal account rule. Credit all incomes and gains, debit all expenses and losses. So whatever kind of payments you are making, no, everything will come under the nominal account only, and everything you have to debit only. Advertisement, postage, stationery, stamps, carriage, freight. For carriage, freight, both are meaning same only. If some transportation, conveyance expenses, if you are incurring, then it will come under the nominal account only, expenses, and you have to debit only. So for that purpose only we have debited the advertisement account with 1,500. Why you are crediting cash account? Since whatever might be cash, if it is going out of the business, if you are paying means cash is going out. Cash வந்துட்டு it will come under the real account. Cash will come under the real account. If you are receiving cash means வந்து debit பண்ணுவீங்க, because debit what comes in. If you are paying means credit what goes out. You are paying. So credit தான் பண்ணணும் cash account. Okay. So cash account you will be crediting here. Okay. So suppose இதிலே வந்துட்டு if through check, by check if they are giving means bank account you have to credit. Paid advertisement சைலண்டா இருந்ததுன்னா கேஷ்ல பே பண்ணிருக்காங்கன்னு அர்த்தம். If suppose if they are mentioning by check, through check, like that, no, then you have to credit the bank account instead of cash, because bank will be the giver. He is going to pay that advertisement, so bank will have to credit. Here they have not mentioned anything, so to cash account I have given here. So you just make a note of it. Being advertisement paid or paid for advertisement, whatever, in simple language you can just make a note of it. Paid for advertisement by cash also you can give it over. or else just like that simply also you can just mention. So this will be our 9th day transaction. Now moving on to the next thing. On 10th, bought stationery. Whenever stationery or some concerned particular item is given, no, then there you should not use purchases and all. Okay, that concerned only you have to use. Concerned asset or concerned item only you have to use. Not bought or sales you should not use. Purchase or sales you should not use there. So that you have to keep it in mind. So on 10th, what they are doing? Bought stationery for rupees 500. So on 10th, stationery they are purchased. Usually goods purchase பண்ணா என்ன entry இருக்கும் நம்மளுக்கு? Purchases account debit பண்ணிட்டு we will be crediting the cash account. Okay, so this will be our usual entry. Bought goods, bought for rupees. Like that, if they give purchase account debit to cash account, this will be the usual entry. But here they have given specifically stationery, but so that you should not use this purchases term. Stationery illa asset nu கொடுத்தாங்கன்னா asset illa and the stationery and the item தான் நம்ம we have to mention. So அதனால you have to give it over here. Stationery account only you have to mention debit. Okay, because stationery every items whatever you purchase, no, it is coming to your business. Okay, so okay, so you are purchasing here, it is coming, so stationery account only you have to debit, not purchases account. Okay, if you debit purchase account, then it is wrong, your entry is wrong. So stationery account you have to debit to cash account, that is as usual to cash, because they have got they have not mentioned any person's name here. Bought stationery from Mr. X or from Mr. some person they have given, then that person you will mention here to Mr. X account illa to Y account and the money kaamipa. But here they have not given any person's name, then it is treated as cash purchase only. Cash la I have bought some stationery items like that. So cash account only I have to credit. Why cash account credited? Cash is going out of my business when I purchase stationery. So cash account I have to credit what goes out. So another cash account I have credited. So whatever amount given, that amount you just mention rupees 500 they have purchased, that 500 you just mention here. Okay, 500 you mention here and give a narration for that. Being stationery purchased or something bought stationery, accordingly a sentence can be given. Being stationery purchase for cash or something you can give. Okay, and this will be our 10th day transaction. Now moving on to the next. On 11th, paid Kasi Mills by check rupees 11,800. Discount received rupees 200. So you're paying Kasi Mills. Just you have to go through what are the transactions right from the beginning you have with the Kasi Mills. How much you have to pay on that date, but how much you are paying now, either you are receiving discount or giving him discount, that and all you have to consider. In this question, discount receipt they have given in bracket 200. Okay, so no problem. Or else in full settlement of his account, like that if they mention no, then you have to go through everything and find out. Okay, so if you see here, Kasi Mills, they had a transaction with him, Kasi Mills, on 6th. Okay, on 6th they are bought on credit basis. Since no cash is mentioned here, then it is considered as a credit purchase. For 12,000 he has purchased. Okay, now same that Kasi Mills, no, they are paying by check. This word is also very, very important thing. Okay, and they have paid him rupees 11,800. Actually, how much he has, we have to pay him 12,000 we have to pay him, but we are paying only 11,800. So whenever you make credit purchase, you will be receiving discount. So that balance 200, 12,000 la 11,800 pochuna, remaining is 200. So this will be the discount received. Even though if they didn't give also this thing, you can easily refer and find out what is the remaining amount and what is that discount allowed or discount received. Only one thing you have to keep it in mind. Credit purchase na discount received. Credit sales na discount allowed. That if you keep it in mind, you can easily pass the entry and find out the amount also. Okay, so they are going to close that Kasi Mills account. That's it. Okay, so when a Kasi Mills account no more you are going to carry out in your business, you have settled him like that on idukana artham. Okay, so Kasi Mills 12,000 they have bought and 11,800 through check they are paying now. So now how to make entry for this? This has happened on 11th, actually 11/04 1999 it has occurred, and you have paid him. Okay, through check you have paid him. So here if you see discount received, everything comes under which type of account you have to think over. Okay, so discount received actually it will come under the nominal account, and what you have to do, discount received you have to credit that because it is an income for you, it is a gain for you. Okay, so you have to credit the, let me mention here, to discount received. Okay, so to discount received, the same thing only I am going to mention here also. Okay, just rough நான் வந்துட்டு அங்க காமிக்கிறேன். So to discount received you have to mention. Okay, why crediting? Discount received, you have got something from that person 200, that amount also specifically given. If not given, you have to calculate 12,000 அவங்க கிட்ட இருந்து நம்ம purchase பண்ணிருக்கோம், 11,800 தான் pay பண்றோம். So balance எவ்வளவு இருக்கு, 200, I have to take it consider it as a discount given by him to me. So discount received consider பண்றோம் அப்படின்னு எடுத்துக்கணும். But here bracketsல within brackets கொடுத்துட்டாங்க. If suppose full settlement கொடுத்திருந்தா நம்ம தான் find out பண்ணணும். But here given அதனால இந்த 200 we can just take it over. So that 200 I will be mentioning it over here. Now usually what will happen, no? So usually if வெறும் வந்துட்டு நம்மளோட கொஸ்டின்ல if you see paid Kasi Mills rupees 11,800 னா what we will do, we will just pay பண்றோம்ல, so we have to mention to cash account and we will be mentioning cash account we will be mentioning. But here they have made payment through check. Okay, so check மூலமா pay பண்றாங்க. So what we have to do, no, you have to credit the bank account here. Usually what we will do, no, you will be crediting the cash account. Since cash is going out of my business, I'm paying him. So payment பண்ணாலே வந்துட்டு வந்து cash வெளில போனாலே cash account we have to credit only. Okay, so cash account will be crediting. But here through check specifica they have given here, by check specifica they have given here. So because of that we have to mention to bank account. Okay, instead of to cash account, to bank account போடுறோம். ஏன் போடுறோம்? Because by check ன்னு கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. Or else to cash account only will be making usual entry because it is going out of my business, I am making payment, so it goes out, cash goes out to cash account I will be putting. So here my how much I am actually paying him, 11,800. So usually students will get confused in recording that amount only, how much I have to debit here, how much I have to credit here. This confusion will usually take place to all students. So to be clarity, discount received எவ்வளோ 200, actually எவ்வளோ நம்ம வந்துட்டு pay பண்றோமோ இல்ல receive பண்றோமோ அந்த amount they will be giving here. Okay, so payment actually how much I'm paying, 11,800 only I'm paying him. So that 11,800 only I have to consider it as I am paying him. 11,800 either it can be in cash form கொடுக்கல எதுமே அப்படினா, through check ன்றதனால I am using bank, that 11,800 I am going to pay him. Now what account I have to debit, that is my next question. So what account na, that person's name account only I can debit because he is the receiver, no, he only getting from me. I am running a business, I am having dealing with that Kasi Mills, I am having dealing with him, I have purchased him. While purchasing he is a giver to me, but when I am paying him, no, he will be the receiver, I am paying him, he is the receiver now. So Kasi Mills comes under which type of account? It comes under the personal account. So personal account rule is what? Debit the receiver, credit the giver. Now Kasi Mill நான் pay பண்ணும்போது Kasi Mill will be the receiver. Okay, so he is going to receive my amount either through check or something cash. That is a secondary. He is the receiver here. So I have to debit Kasi Mills only here. So Kasi Mills has to be debited. So இந்த பர்சனை வந்து நான் டெபிட் பண்ணாதான் என்னோட Kasi Mills account will get tallied. When I'm preparing ledger, this Kasi Mills account will get tallied whenever full settlement of his account and the transaction நம்ம journalல வந்ததுனாலே ledger accounts post பண்ணும்போது that Kasi Mills account will get tallied. No more transaction with him. Everything is tallied. 12,000 purchase பண்ணதுல 200 if he is giving me discount and 11,800 I am paying means that 12,000 is getting tallied now. So that 12,000 only I have to make here because every credit equal debit should be given. 200 plus 11,800 means what? 12,000 amount has to be debited. Okay, so Kasi Mills account debit I have to mention. So these things you should not forget. Debit na எப்படி போடணும், credit na எப்படி போடணும், this you should not forget. Kasi Mills account debtor, Kasi Mills account debit 12,000. Now if you see this amount and this amount should be equalized. Okay, so that you have to take care. And usually என்ன பண்ணுவோம்னா we use cash account here. Okay, since cash payment மூலமா பண்றதுனால cash account will be giving it over here. But here no bank account we are crediting. Why? Because by check and specifically question la கொடுத்திருக்கிறதுனால we will be crediting the bank account. Okay, that you have to take care of. And you have to give a narration for this being cash being check paid to that Kasi Mills in full settlement of his account or something you can mention accordingly. In full settlement of his account also you can just give it up. It's your this one. Okay, so just you can accordingly give. Okay, so just you can mention it over here. And this will be our entry and for that particular transaction on 11th transaction. And next what is the next transaction? Cash sales 12th. Cash sales rupees 4,000. This very easy. Sold goods nalum cash to cash account data to sales account da. Cash sales nu kuduttaangale cash account data to sales account da. Okay, so cash sales if they given the question, it is cash account data to sales account. So this will be our entry and amount is 4,000. Debit and credit 4,000 with same amount and date which date 12th or something, whatever date is given here 12th, that date has to be given here also 12/04/1999. Okay, so this is our entry. So why cash sales cash account debit பண்ணும்? Because cash is coming into our business. So whenever I make sales, cash is coming into my business. So real account rule is what? Debit what comes in, cash comes in. So cash account I have debited. And to sales account, why I'm crediting sales account? Since goods while I'm selling, it is going out of my business. So sales account always credit. So I have credited sales account to sales account. And cash sales entry cash account data to sales account. That amount has to be given in debit and credit column. And narration will be being goods sold for cash or something like that you can give. Okay, and this will be our 12th day transaction. Moving on to the next one. 13th, received from Malan in full settlement of his account rupees 7,850. Received from Malan. So received from Malan nale default what we should think? No, cash received from Malan. Okay, received from Malan means what? Cash received from Malan only. Okay, in full settlement of his account rupees 7,850. Whenever you come across this term, you have to go through all the previous transactions, whatever transactions you has taken place with Malan, you have to go through everything. When on which date you receive pannale, received means something you have given him some goods you have sold him, and because of that you are receiving. அதுதான் default we have to understand. Okay, received from Malan means what all the transactions previously has occurred with Malan, that you have to go through. So let us go through on which date you had transaction with Malan. Okay, so Malan, where it is on 8th actually. Sold to Malan rupees 8,000. You have sold him rupees 8,000 worth of goods. Goods mentioned panala, but default you have to understand it is goods only. Okay.